What do you get when you mix a director known only for music videos, a screenwriter who hasn't written for film in over a decade, and COVID-19? Well, you get Ice Cube saying he's not your daddy.
I'm not your daddy, man.
Hi, welcome back. Today's video might seem a little bit strange compared to my other social commentary videos, but some of the comments on those videos hurt my feelings, so I kind of want to talk about something more lighthearted. Also, just between you and me, this kind of video is more brand safe. Hint hint, wink wink. So, I finally got around to watching the 2025 rendition of War of the Worlds. Last year, pretty much everyone went on a hating spree for this movie, but I kind of just got here and I didn't get to talk about it. So here's my take on why War of the Worlds 2025 is one of the worst films ever made, and it might even be worse than you remember. Now, for the few people who haven't seen it, let me describe it to you. Imagine an alien invasion sci-fi thriller that's really meant to scare you, but instead of Will Smith making that heroic sacrifice play, he's on Zoom calls for 95% of the time, cosplaying as Kai Cenat reacting to a music video.
Damn, boy.
But what this movie lacks in plot, character development, CGI, and pretty much everything else, it makes up for it in blatant product placement for Amazon. Yep, this movie is basically just one giant ad, but here's what makes it even worse. The producer did an interview where he confirmed that Amazon never paid for the promotions.
Was this one giant advertisement for Amazon?
No, it wasn't. Amazon didn't see it until the movie was all the way done. We never intended for Amazon to release the movie. We always thought Universal was going to release the movie theatrically.
Wait, so you're telling me you didn't need to include all of this promotional material for Amazon? You purely did it out of sheer appreciation for the billion-dollar company. Just because. Grab your nearest bag of popcorn, because I'm going to explain in detail why War of the Worlds is the worst film of all time, and it might be even worse than you remember. Okay, but first, I kind of need to take off this sweater. It is so hot right now. And to this commenter, I got this sweater at a random street vendor in Bolivia. So make that what you will. The film starts off with this killer score using the song Keep Your Head Up by Wolfgang Verbrun. It has this retro funk vibe to it that I can really dig. But it also serves as a reminder to any unlucky person who decides to watch this film. Because you will want to look away, but you can't. You gotta keep your... We're introduced to the main character, William Radford, who is a domestic terror analyst for the DHS. Now, that sounds really scary until you realize he's just a glorified mall cop. I mean, the computer is doing all the work here, identifying what the threat level is and how big it is. All you need to do is check whether something turns red. Oh, hate to break it to you, William, but it sounds like your job is easily replaceable with AI. Will then decides to do what all good parents do and invade the personal privacy of his own kids and shame them for it. His daughter Faith is a biomedical researcher at a university lab. But what was that? You bought a muffin?
Hey.
A muffin? Really? A muffin. What are you thinking?
Jesus, Dad.
And Dave is the unemployed younger brother who just plays video games all day. The movie continues as we get introduced to Mark, an Amazon delivery driver who, besides from being the biggest product placement in the movie, actually becomes one of my favorite characters, but more on that later. Now here's where the story does a complete 180. For the first 15 minutes, the movie was set up to be this government hacker investigating this high-level threat of another hacker called the Disruptor. But all of that gets thrown out the window when it turns into Chicken Little.
Whoa.
Meteors are falling from the sky, buildings are being destroyed, people are dying. And what is Will's reaction? Aliens are now popping out of the meteors and killing his colleagues. What is Will's reaction?
Oh my God.
For me, this is where the movie goes from B tier to straight up F tier. Compared to the other Screen Life movies like Searching in 2018, Unfriended, and Missing, this one makes absolutely no sense. Movies like these live or die by the lead character's performance. Because all we, the audience, can look at when the cameras go out is them. So when Ice Cube reacts to someone dying in front of him, the same way we would react to someone farting in the room, The immersion is lost. And speaking of farting in the same room, what makes you gassy? Oh my god. That was such a bad transition. I'm so sorry for that. This is my first ever sponsor. Bear with me. This video is sponsored by Factor. All right, time for lunch, huh? What do you got there, Factor? Yeah, that's cool. I got this cardboard muffin because some guy on YouTube said it has magic healing powers. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I don't know. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals straight to your doorstep, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Skip the prep and cleanup, just heat, eat, and enjoy. You can also customize your meals to fit your goals, from high protein, calorie smart, low carb, and many more. You can just pop it into the microwave if you're in a hurry, but I personally like using the oven. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a big mushroom guy, so my favorite meal so far that I've tried was the oven roasted ranch chicken with cheesy broccoli and roasted mushrooms. Okay, full disclosure, sometimes I forget to eat, so having Factor in the fridge ready to go keeps me a little bit healthier. And maybe you can try it too. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code JordanKangFB50 to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code JordanKangFB50 at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. You see, this is the problem with YouTubers and their ad segments. They're just not creative and lack authenticity.
Hey, you! Stop!
Oh, gotta go. But let's keep going because it gets much worse. Will then gets on a call with Faith, his daughter, and he witnesses her almost die in front of him. Now, I'm not a father, but if I saw my daughter screaming in pain in critical condition alone on the streets while aliens are attacking, I would react harder than just, oh shoot, it's locked. Like, come on, Ice Cube, we need something more.
Damn it! Locked it!
I feel like at this point, it would have been more interesting and maybe even scarier if Will wasn't sure what he saw on screen was real or fake. Because that's a problem we face in today's society with videos like these. And yes, these are AI, in case you didn't know. Well, turns out this film was made during COVID, so I don't blame the writers too much for not predicting the future impact of AI videos. Will eventually is able to help Faith by hacking into a Tesla. She gets in and they drive to a safer location. But does he keep reassuring her that she's going to be okay and be a good father? Nope, he stops doing that and starts to interrogate her on why he wasn't invited to her baby shower.
I don't blame you for not wanting me at your shower.
Now?
The US president announces DEFCON 1, the military is engaged, and we start to win battles.
This plan is humanity's last chance. I see no other option to initiate this war of the worlds to save us all.
Wait a second, is that guy on a golf course? Yep, and he remains there for the rest of the film, which really just goes to show you how quick of a series of events this was. You're telling me an entire alien invasion started and ended within a round of golf? Pfft, okay, but the aliens don't go down without a fight. They cut off our power grid, we go dark, and all hope seems lost. But does Will react to the potential extermination of the human race? Nope, he's too busy reacting to Facebook going down. I want you to think about that for a second. His colleague died in front of him. His daughter almost died in front of him. But the thing that breaks the camel's back is Facebook going down. Will then discovers his son is actually the high-level hacker threat, the Disruptor, which I honestly forgot about at this point. I mean, this film is so overstimulating with all the zoom-ins, the pan-overs, the loud tornado sirens, that I don't even know what happened 5 minutes ago.
NATO, China, and the US have joined forces in what is an unprecedented collaboration.
In a sheer coincidence, his son already knows why the aliens came to Earth. It's because Phil Coulson, Donald Briggs, activated a high-level government top-secret surveillance system called Goliath, and that alerted the aliens to Earth. Will then confronts his boss, Donald Briggs, but he is quickly fired.
Thank you for your service, Radford. You're dismissed.
Stop this thing. Wait!
Wait a second, did you hear that? Yep, they used Microsoft Teams sound effects, which if you're like me and have ever used MS Teams for work, this was traumatizing. I was more scared my boss was texting me than the CGI aliens. Anyway, this seems like a big problem. Will is fired. He can't log in anymore. If only there was a way to get his credentials back super easily. Oh yeah, his son is a high-level hacker and just gives it back to him. No problem.
Touchdown.
Which brings me to my second gripe of this film. None of the obstacles that are presented to the characters feel impactful at all because of how quickly they're resolved. And having a story built like this just cheapens the ending, right? It doesn't feel earned. It feels like it's only possible because of plot armor. Also, side note, why is Clark Gregg always cast for these government agent type of roles? Like, is this just the perfect face for what a government employee would look like? Will and Dave then form a hacker super team that's meant to fight back against the aliens with this rabbit virus. But that lasts for a good, 30 seconds until the entire team gets wiped out by the aliens, including his own son.
My data's being drained.
Psych, Dave is still alive. And what's Will's reaction to him almost losing another child of his?
I don't have alien invasion insurance.
Okay, Dad?
I'm not your daddy, man.
Sorry, Mr. Radford. I'm starting to question whether you even like your children here. We then discover that these aliens are feeding on our data by sending out these biological bugs.
Why are they going after the chip?
The same reason they love my phone. These little guys are drawn to data.
Well, great. How the hell are we supposed to stop biological bugs? Hacking didn't work, as we saw just before, so what are we supposed to do now? Well, lucky for us, Mark comes in to save the day by suggesting to use Faith's cannibal code to attack the aliens.
Can't you just reprogram the DNA in the aliens to cannibalize themselves?
Mark, that's absolutely right.
And it was this scene right there that had me cheering, "Let's go, Mark!" Because as much as I hate his character as a product placement, that aside, I always love it when the underdog boyfriend proves themselves to the girlfriend's family. Like, I just think that's so sweet. So we now have a solution, but how do we get the cannibal code on the thumb drive to Will's location? He's locked up in DEFCON 1 secured DHS building that's surrounded by gigantic robot aliens and fighter jets. Well, have you ever thought about using Amazon Prime? And I'm not even joking. That is what they used. They showed a step-by-step tutorial on how to shop and purchase something off the Amazon.com website. And they used Amazon Prime's new drone delivery system to get it to Will. And in Will's final journey to be the hero, he makes a ludicrous reference because of course he does.
Move, bitch! Get out the way!
He then plugs the USB stick into the Goliath server, which just so happens to be under the DHS building that he was in, but let's ignore that. And then the screen cuts to black. And that's pretty much the entire movie. But wait, it gets even worse. I skipped over some parts, so let's quickly cover those. How did Faith recover so quickly? Wasn't her leg impaled? Don't worry, Mark, the Amazon Prime delivery driver, used wrapping tape to save the day.
Trust me. I'm a pro.
I trust you, Mark. I trust you. How did the Amazon drone not get hit by anything on its way to Will? Well, it did. It was knocked over and couldn't fly anymore. It was just rescued by a homeless man, thanks again to the power of an Amazon gift card.
Give him an Amazon gift card for $1,000.
This movie is bad. But what makes it worse for me is all the times it tried to be something else other than a sci-fi thriller. For the first 15 minutes, I was pulled into an emotional story about a father who's overprotective because his spouse died young and his kids resent him for it.
You think you have more power than you really do. You think you have the power to have saved Mom from a disease. You think you have the power to make me happy.
Like, geez, that is deep. That cuts hard. So to see this film wrap up that storyline with Will reading an email of all things just threw me off the edge.
Dear Faith and Dave, being a parent is hard.
Not to mention all the stock footage and the AI or photoshopped images of them together at the end was just the cherry on top that makes this film so terrible. Like, why even bother showing us this footage? It's just a bunch of rusty tanks. Is that what we're fighting the aliens with?
We must resort to a full manual attack at this point.
But I don't want to sound too harsh. These two editors right here pretty much had an impossible task and were screwed from the beginning. They were given iPhone reactions and some stock footage and was told, make a feature film out of it. And who knows, maybe in 10 years, people will look back and think, this movie was so bad, it's good. Personally, I found it kind of funny how many mistakes and random BS there was. Why is Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan getting random plugs at the end? And why are B-2 stealth bombers going so slow? They cruise at 560 miles per hour. They could have easily blown Will up. If you made it here, let me know by liking this video and consider subscribing. I want to hear your thoughts. Was this movie as bad as you remember? Or was it even worse? Again, thank you for watching. I know this video kind of seems off-brand for me compared to my other ones, but it's these kinds of videos, sponsored videos, that makes it possible to do those other social commentary ones. And wherever you are in the world, I'm hoping you stay safe. There are so many crazy things going on right now, and I'm just glad we have this small corner of the internet that we can come and laugh together. Take care of yourselves, and don't be like Will. I straight up don't think he cares about his children. Okay, peace.